Welcome back to the Abundant Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, Ali Banks. And on my channel, I like to take business and faith and combine it all on one platform. You know, they say that the biggest gap in the world is between knowing and doing. And the reason a lot of people don't do is simply because they lack the knowledge. What I like to do is I like to bring you guys various topics, bring various entrepreneurs on my platform, tell their story, give you guys some gems just so it can help you on your journey so you can get to your destination a little bit faster. Today we have another Motivation Monday. And because it's Men's Mental Health Month, I wanted to touch on the topic of mental health. This is a topic that I touch on every so often because I feel like it's a topic that needs to be talked about. So we can dive right into this topic. So I always like to define something in the beginning of my videos just to give you guys a visual or an actual image of what this looks like or what I'm trying to get the message to convey. So mental health, when I defined it, it just said a state of emotional, psychological, and social well-being that influences how individuals think, feel, and behave. So what stood out to me? Your state of emotional and psychological well-being. So that's how you act on a day-to-day basis. That's how you're feeling. That's how you're thinking. And we all know that the way that we think about ourselves determines our actions, and our actions determine our future or the results that we produce. So if every day we waking up and we like, man, we looking at the day as if it's going to be a hard day, or we looking at it and we don't have any joy in our hearts because we're not there where we want to be financially. Maybe we in a terrible relationship. Maybe you got that bill due. Maybe you had a car just get repossessed. Whatever it is, it's affecting your mental health. It's affecting your emotional and psychological and social well-being. Everybody knows that humans are social people, and that's how we interact. If we can't be social, if we can't be ourselves, if we're not feeling 100, then how can we produce anything that's 100? So we have to make sure that we're guarding our mental health. We're doing the proper things for our mental health, especially as men, because we can take on so much. We can take on the load of having to provide for a family. We can take on the load of having to go to a job and work 12 plus hours just to provide for that family. And sometimes, men, we don't feel like we get the appreciation that we deserve. And us as men, we don't really vocalize how we feel. So a lot of times we internalize how we feel. So when we internalize how we feel, a lot of times it comes off and then we blow up, or it gets to a point where we go into this shell where we don't want to speak, we don't want to talk, we just real grumpy, angry, and then that's not good for men. I feel like there should be a space for men to vocalize how they feel on a day-to-day basis. And these things that I'm going to share with you guys are things that I've done to resolve my mental health, to help my mental health on a day-to-day. So I do want to point something out. When I first started on my journey of my mental health, when I finally realized I had depression, in my head I'm like, okay, just let me take this pill or let me do this meditation and it's gonna cure it forever. That's how I used to think. Your mental health is something that you have to be intentional about every single day when you wake up. I used to be like, man, I'm gonna have to meditate again today. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go down and work on myself again today. I'm gonna have to do these breathing exercises again today. Yes. It's just like brushing your teeth. It's just like getting up and washing your face. It's just like getting up and getting into the shower. These are things that we do on a day-to-day basis that help us on a day-to-day basis, and they help our hygiene. These are things that help our, everyday health. I don't know what word I was trying to get at, but those things that we do unconsciously that help us on a day-to-day. So doing things like meditating, sitting down, writing out your goals, sitting down, writing a to-do list. These are going to be things that ultimately give you a plain view of what your day looks like, what can have you outside of your head and not thinking so much, right? So the first thing that I wrote down is I want you guys to start trying to live in the now. I know a lot of times we can be caught up on mistakes that we did in the past, or we could be so caught up on things that's happening in the future that it robs us of our current circumstances. And I know a lot of times when we can't really get out of our head, or when we can't really move on with our day because we're so caught up on a bill that's about to be due, or how will I get this bill due, or how am I going to make sure that I get these bills paid, or how am I going to make sure that my son has these clothes for school? And this is things that's probably happened 3 months from now, but you can't get out of thinking about it so much that it rob you of today's joy. It's things that go by day to day that you may miss because you wasn't physically present. Like you were here, but you wasn't physically present. I know it's probably instances where you might have been at a party or you might have been at a family gathering, but your mental health wasn't all the way 100. Maybe you were angry about something and it robbed you of like that party. You don't even remember that experience. You didn't take any pictures, and later everybody, they come and you like, man, that wasn't even you. Like you wasn't even acting yourself. And then you like, man, why even let myself get like that? This was supposed to be something to celebrate family. This was something for everybody to come together. And I was the killjoy. So you have to be able to take yourself out of how you're feeling about past results, but also future circumstances that don't even exist. A lot of times we're just putting these things in our head, which is raising our anxiety because it's giving us more things to think about. So if you decide to live in the now, like, hey, man, I'm going to let God handle what's going on in the future. I'm also going to forgive myself for what I did in the past, and I'm just going to live in today. I'm just going to enjoy today because time is something you can never get back. So enjoying the moment is always something that brings you and helps you realize, like, the present, I'm good right now. Like, why am I worrying about things that happened in the past or things that may happen in the future if I'm good right now? Like, you just got to thank God that you're good right now. And just having that gratitude and that grace is going to put you in so much of a happy state because, it's a lot of people that didn't even make it to the day. So just you making it to this day is God telling you, hey, I got your back, bro. You good. Don't worry too much. Just focus on the now, focus on living for God right now, and then I'm going to handle everything. What happened in the past, that's not you anymore. So we just have to get these thoughts into our head that we are better than we think we are. We are working on ourselves. We're not perfect. So the next thing is writing things down. I know for me, a lot of times I get overwhelmed when I have a lot of things and then I'm just trying to remember all of them. I'm trying to think about, I got to be here. Or I got this paper due. Or my son I need to be here at this sport event. And so you're like, oh my God, you ever get to the point where you just have so much to do that you just don't do anything at all? And that happens a lot. That's a part of your mental health. It's all a process of what is going to start to become burnout. We as men feel like we have to put everything on our plate and put it all on our shoulders and carry it. When it doesn't have to be like that. Simply take some time, give yourself a to-do list. Go ahead, check off everything day by day. So you're like, okay, I already did that. Okay, I got to get this done. I know what I need to do for this. Okay, boom, boom, boom. We checking all the areas and you're like, okay, I can breathe. And that's all you need, man, is a breathing room to enjoy the moment. So just writing things down gives you a visualization of what your day should look like. It gives you structure, but it also keeps you on task so that you're not feeling like you're behind or you're not feeling like you're missing out on doing work. But every day, if you have a to-do list and you get it done, you're like, all right, I did my work for the day. I'm cool. I'm good. We all good. Setting boundaries the correct way. For me, I always thought setting boundaries was avoiding certain conversations, avoiding accountability, just putting all the bad thoughts and things that I did and just not even speaking on it. But setting boundaries is not having conversations that we're not supposed to be having. Setting boundaries is not eating foods that we're not supposed to be having. Setting boundaries is knowing when you tell yourself you was going to watch this motivational or spiritual video, but you end up watching some music. That's boundaries. And I say that those are real boundaries because those are things that align with yourself. Those are things that you have to hold yourself to a standard. A lot of times we say our boundaries are things that are external, things that people do. But we should be having boundaries set for ourselves to keep those promises to ourselves because ultimately that is going to be the thing that helps our mental health heal. Those are going to be things that help us stop having so much anxiety, stop worrying so much, stop overthinking this, stop having the conversations that spark these things. And so for me, I was thinking like, okay, I ain't had that conversation in a while, or I haven't done that in a while. Just a little bit of that won't hurt. Just indulging in that a little bit won't hurt. And every time you like, man, why even do that? I knew it was going to happen. I told myself not to do it. I went back and forth with myself. I'm stupid. That's because we're not setting the correct boundaries for ourselves. We're not holding ourselves to a standard. If you don't hold yourself to a standard, nobody else will. So you have to set those boundaries. Hold those promises to yourself. Keep them every day. Write them down. Remind yourself of what your task could be. Have it in your mirror. Have your goals on your walls. My mental health is getting better every single day. I can do all things through Jesus Christ who strengthens me. You have to repeatedly say these things. Daily exercise and meditation, that's another thing. Getting into the gym, having something to focus on. As men, we need something to focus our aim or attention on. As men, we need a goal. We need to feel like we accomplishing something. And every day, going to the gym, give me that small win. Give me that dopamine hit. You know, us as men, we want to feel like men. Going into the gym every day, it does that for you. Going into the gym every day, it does that for you. You like, okay, I got this 45 up today. I got this 135 on the bench. I'm cool. I can run through a wall. You have to be able to regulate the levels in your body, because it's all just different levels in your body. Some are off balance, some are up, some are low, some are down. Just all the chemicals need to be in balance. And getting your blood flowing through your body and breathing properly and exercising, just moving your body, that in itself can heal your mental health. We store a lot of our like hurt emotions in our gut. And if you do certain movements, it pushes it out. It alleviates it, pushes it. So I'm like, man, I feel a lot better. And also what you do in one area of your life, it pushes to another area of your life. So if you in the gym working out and you going hard in the gym, ultimately it's going to exert into other areas of your life. You're like, okay, I'm going hard over here. Let me go hard over here. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything. So for me, if I want to go hard in other areas of my life, I always just amp it up in the gym. You know, breathing exercises. It's taking a few seconds and actually intentionally breathing. You know, breathing in your nose, holding it, breathing out your mouth. That in itself is something that can heal your mental health tremendously. I was one of those people. I'm like, man, that can't really help too much. That ain't gonna really do nothing for me. I'm not even gonna worry about breathing. But then I start to do it every day, and I'm like, man, I feel so much more relaxed. I feel I'm not overthinking. I don't really have no pressure. I feel like, I'm feeling great. Simply from sitting down, focusing on the moment and just breathing, exercising. These are little things that we can do every single day. You have to add these into your routine. It has to, like I said, it has to be just like brushing your teeth, getting in the shower. It has to be habitual. You have to do these things repeatedly for them to show some type of result. Because I know, as people, we like to have stuff happen instantly. We want to see the result right now. If it ain't helping our mental health right now, we like, man, that must not be working. But you have to give it some time to work and pray on it. I think that's the most important part of it all. Pray on your mental health. Pray that it's resolved. Pray that these things work. Pray that God aligns you with the tools and the structure that you need to resolve your mental health on a day-to-day basis. And it will be healed. Prayer does work. Having a routine, like I said, getting up in the morning. All right, when I wake up in the morning, first I'm praying, I'm writing down my goals, then I'm going to stretch, hit a couple push-ups, brush my teeth, wake my son up, iron my clothes. You have to be doing the same thing every day. It's a routine, because soon when you do something so routine, you start to do it without thinking about it. That's what you want to have your body in the habit of doing. You know how we have these bad habits that we just habitually do without our body even knowing? That is how we have to get the good habits. I know you probably did something one day and you was like, whoa, why even do that? Like, I didn't even have to think about that. Like, whoa, I just got up in the morning, went straight to my table to read my Bible. Usually I have to tell myself 100 times, like, get up. But like my body just couldn't live without it today. And that's what you want to get your body to the point, your mind to the point where you crave these healthy habits. You crave getting up and exercising. You crave eating right. You crave meditating. You crave writing your goals. You have to be in love with the journey of getting better every day. It's an everyday process. It's not like a bone that breaks. You can go to the doctor. Hey man, we need to heal this bone in 3 or 4 months. Then your bone is good to the next break. That's not how your mental health works. Your mental health could be good right now, and 2 seconds later, something happened. Boom, you're done. But just having these habits, like, all right, cool. I'm not gonna stress out. I'm not gonna crash out. I'm not gonna curse nobody out. I'm gonna go to the gym. I'm gonna meditate, write my goals down, and we gonna just pray, and we gonna be good. Because All it takes is 1 second. I know you probably had in an instant where you blew up and you like, man, if I'd have just took 2 more seconds to focus, breathe, and just pay attention to what I was doing, that would have never happened. As men, we got to always have that 1 second pause. That's what I like to call it. Anytime something happens, give yourself just 1 or 2 seconds to think about what just happened before you react. You could have got slapped. You like, all right, cool. What's going on right now? You could have disrespect. You like, all right, cool. What's going on right now? Something good could have happened. You could like, all right, cool, good. What's going on right now? It's just giving your body a chance to figure out what it wants to do, what its response is, what actually is logical in this sense. Because as men, we have to be logical. We can't think with our emotions. An emotional man is a dangerous man. A man that doesn't know what he's doing, where he's going, bro, you're lost. They say that where there is no vision, the people perish. You have to have a vision for yourself. How do you see yourself? What type of person do you want to be? What type of person are you? You know, these are things that you have to repeat to yourself. I am great. I'm not the person I used to be. I am new. I am changed. My mental health is healed. Things like that. Knowing that you are enough. Positive affirmations. Even going to therapy. I know a lot of people, black people, you know, we don't like therapy. Why would I go vent to somebody? I could just talk to my homie. Y'all just vent to my home girl. But these are people that are professionally trained in an area that we have no expertise. I'm sure you wouldn't go to a mechanic to get a bone fixed, and I'm sure you wouldn't go to a doctor to get your oil changed. So why would you go to your homeboy for your mental health when he's not specialized in that area of expertise? It only makes sense to go to somebody that can help you. But see, a lot of things are so foreign. Like I said in the beginning, the biggest gap in the world is between knowing and doing. If we don't know this helps, if we've been told these stigmas, if we've been saying it doesn't work just because we listen to other people, those are the ideas that we're going to have about it in our head, which most of the times isn't true. You have to get your own visualization of what something is, get your own take on it. I've done therapy. It's helpful. And so you just have to figure out what's good for you. So to end this off, I just want to read from 1 Peter 6-8. And it's a scripture that I had highlighted for this Motivation Monday. Oh, excuse me. And it reads, humble yourselves, therefore, under God's mighty hand, that he may lift you up in due time. So that first part, humble yourselves. Humble yourselves right now where you are. I understand you upset. I understand you angry about what's going on. I know you anxious about the future. I know you got a bill paid, but right now, humble yourself under God's mighty hand that he might lift you up. So what is that saying? Put it all on God. Don't worry. He gonna lift you up in due time. It says in due time. So what does that mean? Sit back, be steadfast. Hold on a second. I got you. Have faith. Have a little faith. I got you. Trust me. Then it says, cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. God, I'm going through a lot right now. I want to put all this on you. Please take away the worry. Take away the hurt. Take away the anxiety, God. Please just take it away. Prayer works. It says, cast all your anxieties on him because he cares for you. You have to know that God loves you. You have to know that he cares for you. But with his love, you don't have to worry. Worrying isn't a biblical thing. Worrying isn't godly. Right? Then it says, be alert of a sober mind. Your enemy, the devil, prowls around like a roaring lion looking for someone to devour. So it says, be alert, be of sober mind. You know, when we get angry or we get anxious, you know, we want to drink, you know, we want to do these things, but it puts us in a state where we're vulnerable because we can't think clearly. You ever been so mad, you're like, I'm going to go out, I'm going to drink, I'm going to have me a drink, and then it led to something that you regretted the next day? Be of sober mind because the devil prowls around like a roar looking for someone to devour. He's creeping up on you. He like, man, go get that drink, man. Go get drunk, man. Go have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Go, man, don't all them breathing, meditation, man, go have you a good time. You deserve it. But then it ends up, you know, being a night that you regretted, and now you have more things to worry about. You see, a lot of times we trying to get better, but we just make it worse. We try to force so much and we just making it worse. But we need to sit back, relax, and let God do his work. It says, resist him, standing firm in the faith. Standing firm in the faith, knowing that it's going to be okay. Because you know that the family of believers throughout the world is undergoing the same kind of suffering. How many times you going through something and you feel like you're the only one going through it? How many times you get upset because you like, man, why is this always happening to me? How many times you get upset and you like, oh God, why? But if you just know like it's the same person somewhere having the same issues as you, but they're not making excuses, but they're healthy, they're getting through it in a healthy manner and they're succeeding and they're overdoing what God wants them to do. See, you know, it say that some people have your excuses, they win with them, and you take them and use them as excuse why you can't win. So I'm glad that you guys tuned in to this Motivation Monday. This was Men's Mental Health. I hope that you guys take this word, meditate on it, and I hope that you guys resolve that mental health. And I hope that you guys tune in for the next episode. We only gonna get it better. If you like this, like, comment, subscribe to my channel. We're gonna be releasing videos 3 times weekly, 2 times weekly. But you always can look forward to the Motivation Monday, and you can always look forward to the Wednesday Word. Thank you.